Once Human just got some major news. We'll cover all the new details with the mobile platform as well as some new dev updates. Additionally, with that, we also have a dev chat, some new ban warnings, as well as a ban list, and even the recent patches and patch notes. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so jumping right into, let's get into the dev chat. There's a lot of stuff there to cover. Where the titling for this is Call for Feedback on the New Season issue. Now, first up here with the opening statement, it's at the start of the Season 2 they received a lot of feedback and some of it is quite demoralizing. But what is important is it's made them aware of how your experience has been affected by the changes they've made. They said they value your opinions and the development team is making optimizations in response to two major issues. The first major issue they address here is about weapon builds. They understand that the new season tags have resulted in changes to the metagame, and that has affected the weapon building or weapon choices, which has caused some players to feel that their previous effort has gone to waste. That was not their intention, so they plan to add a blueprint conversion feature to resolve that in the future. And they said, what exactly is the blueprint conversion? Simply put, blueprint conversions allow you to transfer weapons and armor blueprint ratings. Players can then use conversion chances to swap the rating of a weapon / armor blueprint with that of another unlocked weapon. So they do give an example here. If you had the Last Valor at 3 stars, and you had the Outer Space at 1 star, you'll then be able to swap that blueprint rating from the Last Valor, which will now be 1 star, to the Outer Space blueprint, which will now be 3 stars. Conversion chances are counted separately for weapon and armor, and they are restored over time with each new season. There's going to be a cap on the number of conversion chances that can be accumulated. They do want your opinion on this, how the different conversion ratings will go. I actually think you're going to be able to metagame this a little bit because we do get certain blueprints more often than others. So if you haven't already, I would stockpile certain blueprints or kind of level up certain weapons that you can already. That way you'll be able to convert it into other weapons that you'll be able to use later on. I do think this is a good choice overall. This definitely made me change my weapon of choice. Although Icy Rain and Frost Vortex was just underpowered, as I've tried to label in my previous video, I really wanted that build to work because I like AoE builds. Unfortunately, Icy Rain's just not there, especially in PvP. The AK version is okay, and I've seen some really good builds with it, but you have to use a specific deviant in order to rack up that damage. Right now, I did swap to Jaws, as that is what the seasonal tag Unstable Bomber, or at least my server, my PvE hard server, is Balance and Void, so I ended up going with that there. Although I do prefer the weapon now, but I understand that it did probably make people change their builds, as it made me change mine. Now, issue number 2 is actually about that, the seasonal tags, or in this case, the scenario tags. So during the signups of the new season, they noticed that players tended to be unsatisfied with the scenario tags. Some players expressed that certain tags were designed poorly, while others complained of having too few scenario servers with high difficulty tags. Additionally, there was conflicting opinions on the ideal number of servers per tag that placed at which would be opened. To better cater to all player needs, they plan on holding a survey to gather your opinions. So they do want you to fill out this survey down below, and I will include a link to it in the description as well as possibly a pinned comment. So if you do want to give your thoughts on it, I will as well. One thing I thought was weird was they had coherent and phase tags only for PvE normal and PvP normal. And then weeks later, or about a week later, they dropped it for hard mode, where at first only Void Balance servers were around for hard mode. I always thought that was a little bit weird. I feel like those should be the exact same at the exact same time. I actually feel like that was the biggest concern with this new scenario or new servers. Whereas if you wanted to go to a hard mode server at the very start, you were forced into Void Balance. And that kind of made certain builds concrete, especially people that waited a few days, they kind of wanted to work on their builds. They technically had to change to those. So I hope for the next scenario and servers when they do these tags again, or if they do these tags again, I really do hope they drop everything at once. If that is like a new hard mode or whatever it is, I hope that there is all of them at the same time. That way you can select based on whatever better build you have. Jumping back to the survey though, they do give some examples here. They say that if a tag is popular, they may increase the number of servers with that tag so more players can access it, while doing the opposite for unpopular tags. So don't worry if you prefer a tag that's unpopular, the servers will be using those tags will still be opened at a fixed time every month, and they will from now on announce that beforehand. And last up here, this is the main 2 issues that they want your feedback on right now. Moving on though, we have some massive news around the mobile platform and version. So finally we have some good news here, where they did have this official tweet. They went on here to say the mobile version technical test for Once Human will begin on September 19th at 20 PDT, which would be 8 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. CST, and 11 p.m. EST. Now some detailed information here. Supported platforms will be Android and iOS. And the test start time, again, September 19th. Test regions are going to be North America and Europe, so it seems like it's limited to those. scenarios. The contents of that will be the Manibus scenario and the Evolution's Call scenario. They do label, though, that this version is not interoperable with the current official version or the PC version. Now, there will be some test qualifications here. They'll disclose that at a later date. That will be on the website, and when they do launch that, I will let you guys know. I will say with that here, I was going to be in the last technical test they did, which was a while ago before the game's release. Unfortunately, I only had an iPhone 11 right now, or currently I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. You actually had to have an iPhone 12 or higher, so I literally missed it by one. I'm not really sure why, since I can be on the latest version of iOS, but it was limited to that, so I hope they don't have it limited there again, but that might be, just be wary if you do have an iPhone. I'm not too sure what the Android qualifications are there, or if you have a Samsung phone or whatnot, but I do remember that being for iPhone specifically. Now, they do say this is a technical test without any recharge content. There is a limit of the number of participants for the test, and once the maximum number of participants is reached, the test will be closed. All data from that test will be deleted at its conclusion, so nothing's going to transfer to the official version. It will be wiped after this. Of course, they want to preface that the game's content in this test version does not represent the final quality. They said after obtaining your test qualifications, you can also download the PC test version from the official website to experience cross-platform gameplay between the mobile test version and PC test version. They want to note that you cannot register a new character using the PC test version. You must first register a character on the mobile test version to gain test access or test qualification. Obviously, that's to limit people just making characters that don't actually have access. But pretty cool there, so you can use your character on the mobile app, and then on the PC version, they're testing that crossplay functionality there without actually having it on the official version right now, so you can't mess with official servers. This is going to be like its own entity of things on its own platform, or at least in its own realm and own servers. Again, when they do drop the official version of that, I will let you guys know. Now, last 2-minute mentionables here, we do actually have some bug fixes and some patch notes from September 2nd and September 1st. So on September 1st, they had an issue in Eternal Land where the sale prices of Whistle, Enhanced Frost Grenade, and Cactus Juice were higher than their crafting prices. Seems like you might have been able to like kind of dupe some currency there. But that's for Eternal Land though, so not really that notable. September 2nd, the first issue where players could not see new server tags. And the second issue they fixed here was the Sunnyside Up collection that was pushing away the RV when placed. That does cover it for both the patch notes. And then another last minute mention, well, here we have the Once Human Fair Play announcement, where again we have some more players banned. The total count this time I believe is around 436 players banned. So a good another chunk of players are being banned and actioned against. They have their little opening statement here, but we've gone over this plenty of times before. Again, they said they're monitoring this 24/7 and they're actively banning players as well as enhancing their security. Once Human seems really good, or fairly good at least, at banning players overall. They seem very proactive, even more so than TFD and some other games. Although again, we can't be for sure. I just really like that they dropped this list of players and let you know the banned list overall. I think this is a really good deterrent, and at least it lets you know they're very active on this, or at least seemingly so. I know I only said 2 last minute mentionables here, but we actually have one more that I wanted to cover. I almost forgot about this one, but on the Chinese test server, they currently have the new PvP scenario. They showcase here there are Rosetta and Mayfly outfits. I believe this is like a faction system here, and there's going to be a joining on different factions. So it seems like there's going to be a new faction style PvP scenario thing, where essentially that's what's engaged in the PvP, other than the faction wars. Seems like there's also going to be factions. Does seem pretty cool here, although people said there might be a disparity because of the outfits. Although hopefully not. Hopefully they have some more stuff to offer here. I do think they're both pretty cool, but I understand why there might be a disparity there. We'll have to wait and see on all of that though. Overall, it's just about covered for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one, deuces.